Some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Craig Goldberg. Welcome to the show. Man, it has been a week since we talked about our Halloween Horror Nights breakdown, predicting all of the houses we are excited for, maybe some of the ones we're not excited for. And Abby, not to put you on the spot, but since then, since we did that episode, you have been very openly and actively talking about your excitement for Halloween Horror Nights. And I know we always get excited, but it seems like you're kind of on a different level going into this year. Is that true?
Well, the Gulkin got me, I'm excited for that cold weather monster that we don't really know what it looks like, but we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, of course I'm excited. I think the buildup is probably the most fun part of any sort of trip. For sure. So yeah, looking forward to it and breaking it down like we did last week. I love categorizing and ranking and chronicling before getting somewhere, knowing what I'm looking forward to and what I'm doing. It just helps to have that routine set out.
Yeah, and the hard part is a lot of people we know are starting to make it out to Horror Nights, and I'm trying, and everybody has to put up their review.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. So if you hear this and you think I'm talking about you, I am, but it's not only you. It's 50 people and going through Instagram stories. I don't want any preconceived notions about which houses are great and which aren't. Jacob, are you finding yourself also avoiding people's Instagrams?
Yeah, but no. I'm trying to avoid things all the time, whether it's that or I'm trying to avoid all of the Jaws stuff from the Academy Museum.
Oh my God,
I just want to see that, when we go. But it's hard. I have a lot of friends who go to Horror Nights and have fun going to Horror Nights, and I'm constantly seeing this is the best house or this is the worst house. So, you never know till we get there. And I think maybe we should film there this year. We never do a video. We should maybe try to get our out of house reactions and.
Oh, that's a good,
you know what I mean?
call.
I know it's a long night and it gets really tiresome being there and everything, but maybe we should pull the phones out and do a little bit of put a video together.
That's a great idea.
Pull them phones out. I'm also actively avoiding the Jaws stuff because there's this big 50th anniversary Jaws exhibit at the Academy Museum out in Los Angeles, which we've been to that museum. It's awesome. Yeah. We are going to make it out there. But not only are people going and taking pictures, Steven Spielberg's doing interviews, and there's these showcases, and it's the kind of thing you don't want to necessarily see ahead of time.
I was talking to Lawrence about it because he got to go, and he gave me a heads up. He was like, "Hey man, I'm about to put a ton of stuff in my stories if you don't want to see it." And I was like, okay, thank you. So I was avoided all his stories, but I asked him, I was like, hey man, how's the merch? And he said the merch is pretty good. He sent me a link. You can get a lot of the merch off of the web store. They're selling a lot of Mondo stuff over there. Yep. They're doing some Mondo posters and some toys, and there's NECA stuff, and they got some shirts and books and stuff like that. And there are a few items that I'm usually when we went to the Academy Museum, the merch section wasn't the great. I don't know if any of us bought anything at the, but there's some good stuff. I was like, oh, there's a couple shirts that I like. There's a couple books that I hadn't seen before. I was like, oh, there's some good Jaws stuff here. So
I like the idea of friends and listeners and viewers and people we know looking out for us and reaching out and being like, hey, I'm about to go post a bunch of stuff on Instagram you don't want to see. That's really nice.
So thoughtful. Yeah. The opposite of that is me looking at people who are going to, say, Horror Nights and posting every house. I'm just click, 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 click. I don't fast. I want to go fresh. I'm like Frank Costanza. So that's really respectful of your friend, Jacob.
Yeah.
Well, it was Lawrence, right?
It's Lawrence Swain. Yeah. Our listener. Yeah. I've seen a couple things from the museum that were just impossible to avoid, and it does look amazing. I cannot wait for us to get out there, and it's running all the way until July of next year. So I think we got plenty of time to get out there and see it.
Well, speaking of museums, we talked a little bit about how we went to the Center for Puppetry Arts on DragonCon weekend. Mm-hmm. And got up close and personal with Slimer, the worn puppet from Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I was just in Star Wars Frozen Empire. New movie.
Whatever.
Yeah. Although
That's
I'm wearing the Frozen Empire VFX.
Is that your
shirt.
Horror Night shirt?
No, this is the from the VFX team. The
Crew
Okay.
shirt.
crew shirt. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So shout out to those guys, Rindle. And I think Baducci actually designed this shirt, so it's very YHS coded. But you know, Abby, you brought up that the Center for Puppetry Arts has this new thing coming, which is they're going to have the puppets from the cereal mascots, Count Chocula, Boo Berry, and that. And then I know Frankenberry, yeah. And then they are also going to have some Pee Wee's Playhouse exhibitry.
Globy's going to be there.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. When
Season
is
one
that?
Globy.
It said
Soon.
September was the date. I can't remember exactly which date, but that's the
I
month.
wonder, is it going to be there like for a while? It's going to be
I
like
think
the
it's
next
a- yeah.
exhibit. Okay, cool.
I think it's like a semi-permanent Globy.
Somebody tell Zach
Um,
Meyers. Holy shit.
Well,
Yeah.
that actually leads me to another thing. And by the way, everybody, welcome to the show. And we are going to be covering The Long Walk, the new movie based on the Stephen King novel, or the Richard Bachman novel, I should say. But we'll get to that here in a bit. We will get into some heavy spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen The Long Walk, you have been warned that once we start talking about our experience with that movie and breaking it down, we will have some spoilers. But jumping back to Zach Meyers, did you see his pictures?
I did. Yeah.
So our good friend Zach Meyers
Mhm.
was at, I guess it was like a convention or a screening in Florida
I think it's a screening.
of
Tampa.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And he met friend of the podcast, Mark Holton,
hmm
who obviously played Francis in that movie. And we had him on our podcast years ago at this point, probably 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
He gave us a container of paprika.
He did
at a
give us some
convention
paprika,
Yeah.
which was huge for us.
And he was like, you know why? And we still don't.
I forgot about that.
I think if you're a guest on our podcast, when we meet in person, bring the seasoning. I've always said that.
Yeah.
But it was cool because Zach, one thing I love about Zach Meyers, and I hope he listens and hears this, like he goes all out for these types of events. He has his Pee-wee costume on that his mom helped him tailor, and his girlfriend dressed up as Francis.
Mhm.
And apparently Mark Holton had never seen somebody do that before. So there's some really good pictures. And if you know Zach, he's one of our good friends, and he posts
They also
that
had
stuff.
like the theater had set up like a Pee Wee's Playhouse set.
Yeah.
So he's got all these
Instagram.
pictures like sitting in Cherry and all this stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
I got to check that out.
Yeah.
That's
Jacob,
so cool.
Did you ever did you ever get around to watching the Pee-wee documentary?
No, I'm scared to. I'm gonna get to it one of these days. Hey, I'll watch it back to back with the John Candy documentary and just really fuck my shit up, dude.
Go bleak.
Just really have a bad weekend.
Yeah.
I will
Well-
say, not to spoil anything, but I thought that the Pee Wee Herman one it had some uplifting stuff, and it had some stuff that needed light brought to it. So I thought
Okay.
it was pretty well balanced.
Yeah.
And
I'm
there's
gonna
a
watch
little
it.
bit
It's
of left.
It's just kind of long, right? Isn't it? Like
Yeah, it's 2 parts. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just haven't sat down, and I say that, but I also watched on HBO. There's this documentary series. It's 3 episodes called The Mortician,
Okay.
about this guy who ran a funeral home, and he was like cremating like 20 people at a time, and then just like mixing all the because you could
My God.
to save time and money. He was just stuffing people in, and then they find out that he was like selling their organs. He was like pulling their fillings out and making money. And then like by the end of the documentary, they're like, we also are pretty sure he maybe killed 3 people. Like, just, it's crazy. And every time they cut to the guy, he's like, they interview him in it because he spent like 12 years in jail, but he's out now, and he's like, it's so funny because he's like, they're dead. Who cares? He's like, why wouldn't you put more in there? And it's like he doesn't understand. Yeah, they're like, well, that's still people's loved ones. They don't want the ashes mixing. And he's just like, it's all the same stuff. He's like, it's just me, and you're just like, this guy's insane. Anyway, that's what I watched this weekend. I watched that instead of Pee-wee.
There was a mix-up at the cremation factory.
Yeah,
All bodies, everybody.
It's on HBO. You guys should watch it. It's pretty fucking crazy.
It's like they just have a giant vat of ashes, and you don't even get your relative. You just pay by the pound. Like a fucking yogurt shop.
It's kind of like when you take someone's food back from their table to box it. It's like, they may never eat that again or look at it. It doesn't really matter. I've had that where I'm taking back 3 plates of ziti.
Right.
They're all different amounts of eaten. And I'm just like, I don't know who's getting this.
But they have like a bunch of people who had their loved ones cremated at the place or in the documentary, and they talk about the trial, and they're like, I don't know if this is my dad or not, and like they talk about how like in a normal crematorium you can cremate like two people takes like 4 hours or something like that, and they're like, but he was, in 4 hours he would have like 20 bodies done, and they were like, usually when they scrape all the ashes out or whatever, it fills a very small box. And then they were showing pictures, and they had other people who worked at the crematorium, and they were like, oh, we had trash bins because it was just multiple people, and they would just it. They would just scoop it into a box and be like, here. So crazy.
I'm into the at-home crematory, like in Chimp Crazy with Tonka.
Oh my God.
She's like, yeah, we did it.
I'm pretty sure she just got arrested recently.
Yeah,
she's in jail now.
I can't believe it. Things aren't going well for that woman. Unbelievable.
Sorry Jacob, to derail, but that all.
No, it's great. That's all.
Yeah,
I like all that.
Levity.
No, I mean, I think
levity.
You can always count on Jacob Walsh for like a relatively traumatizing but very interesting story. I appreciate it.
I like that. That's good.
Well, we're talking about the long walk tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get ready, everybody. Buckle up.
So, Jacob, before we started, you said you had something you wanted to address.
Nothing important. I was watching Aliens this morning.
Okay.
I just had it on while I was doing some stuff, and it made me think like I was thinking about Ripley and how, like, if you can imagine, if they put Ripley in any other horror franchise, it's like the movie's over. Like, can you imagine Ripley in A Nightmare on Elm Street? There'd be no. It's like she's such a badass in Aliens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is so like ahead of everything. She's smarter than everybody. It's like I'm imagining Ripley in Friday the 13th. It's like there'd be no Jason. She would just
She's
take care
the
of
final girl. Yeah.
It's just weird thinking about all of those like final girls from all the different horror movies are pretty similar, and then you watch Alien and Aliens and you're like, oh,
the most capable. I remember
Ripley
thinking
is
that
fucking
when I first watched Alien, because I think that was probably back in like 2014 that I first watched it.
Yeah.
And it was so quiet, and it was like such a kind of a beautiful movie that it unfolds. And I remember being like, whoa, I am so inspired by Sigourney Weaver, which like I was a huge Ghostbusters fan before seeing those movies. But yeah, watching how capable and smart she is, and how much she uses her own senses and intuition to figure that shit out is awesome.
Not that Ripley being like a badass is a revelation. It's like everybody knows that, but it's just I never really thought about it in the terms of like putting that character in a different movie.
Yeah,
and it's funny
kind of ends the movie. It's like,
well, that'd be a good series of podcasts, like replacing Final Girls with Ripley and figuring out, how this would go differently.
Right.
Yeah, like a bracket, like a choose your final girl versus kind of thing.
But it's funny because Sigourney Weaver said that she's watching Alien Earth and loving it, but she's scared to watch it by herself, which is so funny to me.
That's pretty crazy.
Because it's, she's done it all. By the way, you're watching Aliens this morning. You know what I watched this morning? Fucking YouTube video, Ghostbusters ruined by AI. Hey, I laughed a couple times.
Of course you did.
Because when Venkman walks into Dana's kitchen, she's standing there with a xenomorph, and it was funny. I don't care.
Hey,
those videos are so dumb.
Dude, couple more things about Alien. As I'm watching it, I think Alien, we don't need to go into like a giant thing about Alien and Aliens and which is better. It's Alien. But Aliens, some of the stuff towards the end it starts to look. I know that movie is old, but
Right.
it looks a little like Great Movie Ride at points when it's the queen fighting the.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
this
yeah.
just looks like we're on a Disney ride. But
Yeah.
then what's
Yeah.
funny is I was on
That's right.
Facebook scrolling through videos, and a video popped up, and it was like there's like a rumor that the Kylo Ren animatronic in Rise of the Resistance
Yeah.
is a reused animatronic of the Wicked Witch that was on the Great Movie Ride, because their poses are almost identical. They're like pointing,
The way they spit,
and
yeah,
they do the exact same thing. And they were showing them, and they were like, "Is this possible?" And they went through, and they were like, "This is the kind of robot they used for this." And they were like, "Probably not, because that ride exists. They had to build another one." But they went further to say, but if you look at the Finn animatronic and then look at the Ripley animatronic from the Great Movie Ride, they're almost identical. They sit in the corner, they're holding their gun the exact same way, and they move their head in the exact. They're like, I think these are the same animatronic, just rewired. I was like, that's kind of cool.
That is cool, and I missed the Great Movie Ride. That was one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, same.
And
I remember the first time I got on that was with y'all, and I remember getting really choked up, and it was around the Ripley part, because again, I had just seen it recently, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm living the movies. That was really cool.
Here, I'm just gonna quick rant, and then we'll get into the long walk. The whole point of theme park, like Universal Studios. Okay, hold on, let me reel it back.
Oh boy,
MGM Studios, which is now Hollywood Studios, was a direct reaction to Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Universal Studios Orlando opened up, was this huge, new entry into the theme park world. It took everything to a new level. It was a real working studio. And their whole thing was ride the movies. That was the entire point of Universal Studios, was to ride the movies, not the Minions. Okay.
That's a movie.
I know, but this is not the right kind.
Jimmy Fallon's not a fucking movie.
Jimmy Fallon is not a movie. And I am increasingly stressed / disappointed in what is going on in current theme parks, because when I go to Universal, I'm on E.T., I'm on the Mummy. I want to ride the movies.
Yeah, me too.
And yes, you could argue that this is a shit argument, because all the rides there are based on movies and properties, but it's not in the way when it was like, when you went to Universal in 1993, it was like Back to the Future, Jaws, King Kong, Earthquake, Ghostbusters. It was like, it was a very specific, genre and mindset, and it spoke to me. And the Great Movie Ride is a great movie ride. Could have been like a Universal Studios ride. Like, it's such a genius thing. Like, you're on this tram, you go through all these movies, and listen, the thing they replaced it with, the Mickey Mouse escape railway, whatever it is, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's dynamic.
But I'm a little bit concerned that the future generation of theme park goers are they're gonna just think Universal is Harry Potter, and that is it.
Yeah,
and they're not, and there's no way for them to go ride the movies like I did. This is what I'm getting at.
Well, that's I mean, that's all true.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're hankering for that, not to tell you what to listen to, but Podcast The Ride has been doing a month of September, which is all about like the tram ride from Universal Studios, and Scott Gardner from the show used to work as a tram driver. So I actually was listening today about like King Kong and like the banana breath and like how bad things used to smell in there and how dangerous it was. So yeah, if you are like hankering for some of those old nostalgic things, then check them out. But I also feel the same way, where I miss the past. I wish we could keep and preserve the old rides, not replace them, but extend them and put them somewhere like a museum or put them on their own tram tour or something of that nature.
The fact that I'll never go on Confrontation again bothers me. Go for it, Jacob.
Yeah, I've never been. I've only watched videos.
It's weird to me that like I know at Universal, so like they had all the Jaws stuff out last time we went. So the whole reason we went was to see all the Jaws stuff. And remember when we went into the one building, and they had kind of converted it into almost like a museum of all of the stuff from the old ride. That is insane to me. The fact that they still have all that means they still have all the stuff from the other ride. There's probably a bunch of Back to the Future. There's a warehouse somewhere where they keep all that. All the Ghostbuster shit, they have that. They must, right? If they got all the Jaws stuff, then why don't they have all that? So wouldn't it be cool if they at least took a building that either something, I don't know. Do you tell me they don't have a space where they could make a permanent, like, Universal Studios museum of past rides and put all of those props and ride stuff and photo? Like, they can't just put all that stuff in its own thing?
Or even if it was like a rotating display where they like every 6 months they focused on like a different property, and we're like the history of Ghostbusters at Universal Studios, and like if only we
should do that. We should we should film a history of Ghostbusters. See if we can get in and see some of those props. The other thing about the Great Movie Ride is that it always felt, going to Disney World, you're at Disney World and there's fucking Mickey Mouse everywhere and it's like a bunch of kids and whatever. But it always felt like you could be like, hey, there's xenomorphs in here. You know, you're like, what? It's like, it almost felt like a secret. You know, you're like, let's go in here and there's fucking aliens in here.
Yeah. And the first time I wrote it, it was completely new to me. I remember it was like, oh, let's go on this. And I was like, oh, this looks like the Chinese theater that we went to for the premiere of Answer the Call. This is kind of neat. It's like a small scale version of that. And then I think I'm trying to remember. All I remember was getting in the car and being really excited and kind of feeling the same like spiritual awakening that I used to feel when I would go to church of like, holy shit, they're reenacting something that I love, that I know the story of.
Indiana Jones, Aliens, Wizard of Oz, and Tarzan. Yeah, there was Tarzan.
Casablanca.
And, like, someone would come out and like rob your tram or get on. It was all like, it's like a show happening. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, someday. No, that sucks.
Done.
There won't be a day that we can go do that again. It's not like toys. We can't be like, well, maybe they'll put out more Kenner Ghostbusters toys. They do. We can't be like, maybe one day Hollywood Studios will rebuild the Great Movie Ride. Like, it's not going to happen. They're going to replace it. Like, they just got rid of Muppets 3D, although the Muppets are now replacing Aerosmith, which means now Aerosmith's going to have to replace somebody else.
Yeah, but that's different. It's like the Muppets being the role. That's such a dumb consolation prize. You know, it's like, okay. They're doing nothing. They're just putting a picture of the Muppets up on a fucking whatever.
If you're watching this podcast on YouTube or listening on Spotify, leave us a comment. Now that the Muppets 3D has been taken down and the Muppets are replacing Aerosmith, what ride at all of Disney World should Aerosmith take over?
No,
it could be Aerosmith. No. They got to do something.
Erase Aerosmith from the history of the human whatever. Just get rid of it.
How about like Dr. Seuss? I don't want to miss a thing one or thing two.
Shut up.
I don't know.
Is that the whole thing you were doing?
I just came up with that on the spot, and it's maybe the most proud I've ever been.
Okay.
Okay, everybody. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the latest film that we've all taken in, The Long Walk. Now, we did... we covered it, but I didn't see the panel at Comic-Con. But I know this is something you guys have been really excited about. I'll go over some of the high level information for people not familiar with the movie, and we'll get into it. So yeah, spoiler alert, right, Ab?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And for those of you watching, you can look at the book or at least this is a collection that has The Long Walk. This is the one that I read it from. Ooh, let me see yours.
Abby literally bragged to the woman in the theater next to us that she read the book and was holding the book. I was like,
this is the book. Like a good Christian.
You brought the book to the movies with you?
She was evangelic.
Yeah,
this is my Centipede Press copy, illustrated.
Oh, that's badass.
We'll just read it to the...
All right, Long Walk, 2025 American dystopian survival thriller, co-produced and directed by Francis Lawrence, who... has had quite a career. He's directed some Hunger Game movies. I think he directed I Am Legend, Constantine, and others. And I know we had a little bit of trepidation. More you guys, because I don't have a... Abby, what's the phrase you've been trying to say lately? Don't have a dog in the race?
Yeah, I don't have a dog in the race.
A couple weeks ago, she's like, I don't have a race in the fire.
I have a log in that fire. Dude, I try.
1979 novel of the same name by Stephen King. Obviously, we've talked about under his pseudonym Richard Bachman. The film stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Garrett Waring, and a whole host of others. And of course, the great Mark Hamill. Was he though? We're gonna get into it. Abby, Jacob, I'm gonna let you guys kind of take reins on this, but I think spoiler warning starts now. Abby, let's get your first thoughts based on somebody who is a huge fan of this book and obviously Stephen King. Where are you sitting? Are you making space for the long walk?
Let's see. Yes, I am. I'm making space for the rations and for a little tinfoil wrapped oatmeal chocolate chip cookie or whatever you have space for on the walk, because that's what's going to get you through shit. And that is what I love about the long walk. It's not necessarily the brutality or the bleakness or the social commentary or political commentary. It's the real conversations that human beings have with each other when they're in dire circumstances that are the most like uniting and like heartwarming and like just real that thing that you can ever have. I think that Stephen King has a way of showing that connection happening under like perilous and supernatural and crazy circumstances, but like the bond between humans and like their love for each other and for things like music and for having a loved one, those kind of memories are what will keep you walking. And that's why I loved it. I always liked that it felt to me like a good metaphor for the military. And I know that obviously, Jacob, you've mentioned this was Stephen King's first story that he wrote. So it's kind of got a lot of his like bravado and panache and like just dick waving because he, hadn't really grown up necessarily. So there's like a lot of really fucking punch, gut punch stuff in it.
Don't you mean sack waiting?
There are some strong sacks. There are some boys. You got some strong sacks. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep because you said overview.
All right, men. Get out your strong sacks.
Talk about
That's pretty good.
Oh, dude, I've been doing it all week, and I walked into
you?
the bedroom. I was talking to the cats the other day. I was like, "Welcome to the long walk, gentlemen. Get out your strong sacks." So, Abby, that was a really good overview of like your feelings of the book. Obviously, like we're gonna get into the plot. It is a dystopian alternate version of history where the nation's been torn apart, and to inspire the nation, a representative from each state, a young man, goes on this televised broadcast contest to see who can walk the longest. And
they enter a raffle, so it's almost like a
right, like a lottery. Yeah,
they want the chance and the opportunity, and also it's so specifically the country is in bad economic times and like recession, and the long walk is supposed to be a distraction and an inspiration and a symbol for people to look at.
And then there's all these rules, and then at the end, the one thing you need to know, and then Jacob will go to you, is only one person makes it, and 49 other young boys are killed. They're shot. They get their ticket. Jacob, I know you're also a huge fan of the book. Talk about it, and then let's get into some of our initial thoughts of the movie.
Yeah, no, I like this book a lot. It's a very dark, different Stephen King book. I feel like you don't hear it talked about as much. It's not among your Shinings or It or The Stand. There's nothing really supernatural happening. Mostly, it's just fucked up with a really bleak ending. And usually it's one of the ones like when people are like, hey, I want a Stephen King book that will just fuck me up. People are like Pet Sematary, The Long Walk. It's one of those. I love the book. I think it's great. For literally all the reasons Abby said. And I do think the movie gets like a good portion of the book pretty right, even with a lot of its changes. There's still a lot of like big positives in the film, but I don't know, dude. Like Stephen King wrote this, like Abby said, like he wrote it before Carrie. I think he started it before Carrie, and I think he maybe finished it a little later.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's true.
And yeah, it was one of the Bachman books. They have been trying to make this movie since like George Romero was going to make it, which I would have loved to see whatever the fuck that would have been. Like, you know, it's one of those long in gestation, like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And like, this is what we got, you know? And I'm happy to see like a lot of people are really loving this, which makes me feel a little bit like a crazy person. I'm seeing a lot of people just completely not mention the one thing that I had a huge problem with. And I'm like, I guess nobody read this. I like it just as a movie, it's fine, but I guess nobody read this because there's some key differences that we'll talk about later that really bother me. But I've been thinking about this movie a lot since I saw it because like, I sat through most of the movie thinking like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. And, I feel like I need to see it again, knowing, the twist of the ending. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I need I wish I could see it in a theater with no people and just like, shut up, let me fucking watch this. And no, cause I don't know. We'll get to it later. Let's just talk about the movie.
I see what you're.
I don't want to spoil the ending right now because that's the only thing.
You wanted expectations to be set. You wanted to have to know what your expectations going in were. Yeah. Kind of. Like,
well, my expectations were pretty high because, like, you know, at first when it was first announced and everything, I was like, hey, Cooper Hoffman, like, he's great. He's got a career happening, and you know, I thought he was really awesome in SNL. You know, and it's like. But I was worried about the director, about the Hunger Games thing. I was like, oh, we're going to fucking get a PG-13 or we're going to get like this weird, like dumbed down version of this story. Cause it seems to be like, that's what the guy does a lot of. But then the trailers came out and I was like, hey, you know what? Trailer looks great. Trailer looks good. It looks like The Long Walk to me. We went to the panel and the panel did a lot. Like, they showed us the first 22 minutes of the movie. And I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is amazing. And then you know what? JT, what's his name? JT Molnar, the writer of this film, the screenwriter, sat up there and he assured everybody. He said, hey, if you love this book, don't worry. He's like you have nothing to worry about, because everybody who read the book, the first thought they have is like, are they going to do that ending? And he, like, without saying we're doing it, he's basically like, don't worry, we got you, you know? So, like, after Comic-Con, I was like, I'm in, dude. Like, everybody who was up on that stage had really great things to say. It was really awesome listening to everybody talk about the film. The first 22 minutes was great. So I was like, this is going to be awesome. I'm fucking in.
Yeah. So the movie is doing really well critically.
Yeah.
People are throwing around, you know, Oscar talk for, you know, whether it's various performances or, you know, the movie itself or the script. It is a low budget movie. It's a $20 million budget. How are $20 million budget movies getting Hall H panels? Things have changed at Comic-Con. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I think for a movie that is a lower budget based on an obscure novel, it is getting a lot of hype. There is a lot of people talking about it. Obviously, we're in a little bit of a different position. You're both, you know, obviously we cover this stuff when we go see these movies, but you're both huge Stephen King fans.
Sure.
So there's a lot of eyeballs on it. Also really like Cooper Hoffman, great in, you know, Saturday Night, great in Licorice Pizza. His dad was Philip Seymour Hoffman. I don't really have an issue with any of the performances in this movie. I actually think the cast is like really good. Like,
I agree.
And I think the script is really good. I think the various dialogue conversations, the various monologues, all really effective. The subject matter is exceptionally bleak. They did not shy away from like that. And I know, Jacob, that was one fear you had. Like, the book is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
There's really, you know, graphic, you know, murders and all this stuff. And, you know, they don't pull punches. It's not a PG-13. It is a graphic, it's a graphic movie, and it's violent, one of the things that I didn't love about it was that I became very numb to the violence, like after the first two killings, where I was just like,
I have some theories about this.
I
okay,
have
yeah.
thoughts about it,
Well,
too.
I want to hear
Yeah.
Abby's first.
Well, let me
Only-
so let me just I'll just say I became numb to it, and they kind of executed it the same way every time. Where the first time you're like, whoa, that person's head just got blown off. Also, like, we should say it's crazy week in America. Like, violence is a part of our culture, unfortunately, and it almost felt like a little we saw it. I think it might have been the same day
It was the day
as
after.
all the day
Jarring.
after all the Charlie Kirk stuff, which we're not going to get into all that. It's obviously terrible and horrible and sad, and the state of our country as far like just from violence is insane right now. No matter where you are on the political spectrum, it is an insane time. And then to be sitting in a movie theater watching a pretty exceptionally violent depiction of a dystopian, war-torn America, there's definitely like social commentary that.
Well, he
even though this
wrote
book-
the movie about Vietnam.
right,
Like the old movie is supposed to be a Vietnam. Like, but yeah, we're in a different era, but it still kind of works. But yeah,
right. So yeah, Abby,
Exactly, 'cause history repeats itself.
it does. And Abby, I'd love to get some, both of your thoughts on that.
Abby, go ahead.
Well, when it comes to you feeling desensitized by the first couple of deaths, my opinion is that the director of the film wanted you to feel desensitized, because that is an emotion that is kind of part of the story, and that the onlookers that watch the boys and the men on the long walk are desensitized and they're looking for violence, kind of a thing. So there might have been an intentional part in the director's mind to be like, hey, let's desensitize the viewer and make them feel like, wow, like that I just am used to this violence now. If that was the intention, I don't think it paid off too well. Because the better deaths, I think for me, which is always a strange thing to say, they got better as we continued through the story and got to know the characters, which is how the story is. But Jacob, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree with that, Abby. The deaths are a little weird to me, and I think there's multiple things going on. When the first kid gets shot, which happens approximately 22 minutes into the movie, because it's where they ended at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So when he gets shot, it's like when I watch these kind of movies, I want it to be so like they're making a film version of The Long Walk. I want it to feel like the book. I want it to be dark. I want it to be fucked up. I want to come out of it and just feel like I need to like take
Cleanse.
a nap or so. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
And we live in 2025 where movie making is very different than it used to be. And they shoot this kid in the face and his like fucking whole jaw flies off.
Mhm.
And my first thought is not like, whoa, that's graphic. My first thought is like, that looks so stupid. It's like the movie goes through such like great lengths to be real and have all these real conversations and like make you really like all these people. And they're talking about, I mean, this is almost like watching a play. You know what I mean? They're just walking down a road talking about life the whole time. And you're like,
The microcosm.
this is fucked up. And then like when the deaths happen, it's like I want them to feel like they're real deaths. And using like 2025 modern like cinema tactics and doing like a CGI gunshot and like a face blow, I'm like, none of that that's not scary to me. That's not realistic to me.
I felt like Mortal Kombat. I feel like a fatality. Like, what is this?
It exactly does. And to not, again, we're not going to talk about all the Charlie Kirk stuff, but that shit happened the day before. I just watched this happen in real life from 6 different angles, and it was so much more terrifying than what I'm seeing in this movie. So it's like I'm desensitized because it's like we see it on the fucking internet all the time.
Yeah.
And it just felt the deaths felt overly produced to me. The deaths got better when they were blurry in the background, because that's how they started doing that. They started doing the deaths from the perspective of whoever was up front. And the thing that's scarier than the death is the warning, third warning, Like the
Right.
countdown is the part that gets you like, listening to 3 warnings. That's the part that becomes the scary thing. Who cares about the gunshot? But it's like, that is a problem that I had, that is like partly filmmakers not using practical effects anymore. It's partly,
That's why you say George Romero should have done it. Sorry.
Exactly. And it's partly because we live in a world where it's just like not weird to see that for real now. So
this is the uncanny valley when you see it the way you do in this film, which I agree.
It's like it's CGI. It's not a real person. That's not, the gunshots are fake, the blood CGI, the fuck it. It's like, you know what? I've seen other movies. A gunshot is a simple effect to do in a film and make look realistic. And it's like, if it's all CGI and like the head is replaced with a CGI replacement, it's like, it just doesn't, to me, some of the deaths don't fit the rest of the movie. It just looks like I'm watching Final Destination or some shit. And it bothered me a little bit.
Which to me, sorry to jump in, I think that that diverts from the draw of the story. What you said in the beginning, when people are like, I want to read something really fucked up, I want to get fucked up on a Stephen King book, they recommend, The Long Walk. Watching, like, it's like going into this book, you want to read, like, what is the absolute most real, most fucked up shit? And that's what I was wanting going into it. But then if you're shown the least real fucked up shit, it is actually takes you out of it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Yeah.
But I'm also not a normal person, and like we all watch a lot of, like, I'm assuming like normal people who go into that probably don't watch those deaths and they're like, that don't look real enough. You know what I mean? So,
well,
it's a bit of a nitpick, but it just, I don't know.
But to me though, I think, like I said, the performances are so strong. David Johnson, he was in Alien Romulus. He's a great actor. He's really good in this movie. And when you have really strong, sometimes when you're watching like a TV show that has like strong performances, but you could tell that the production budget isn't up to the, the casting budget, and it takes you out of it a little bit. And
you can't really,
you can't hold that against the actors. Overall,
I don't hold it against the actors at all. It's just, it's like I said, it's just like a filmmaking choice. It's something they did, and I think it could have been. I think that aspect could have been a little better and a little more impactful. But
I think so. One thing that struck me about the world building in this movie, and maybe you can both kind of help me compared to like what it is like in the book, because I've not read the book, but for this nationwide contest that is supposed to inspire and help stimulate the economy and like, the world they built felt very small to me, and it really took me out of it when they did the flashback, when Mark Hamill shows up, as the Major, and he, executes the main character's father. What's the main character's?
Ray Garrity.
Ray Garrity. When they execute his dad, it felt like, oh, that's like, this is all very convenient. And
that's not in the book.
Yeah, and it also felt like some weird, like, Fahrenheit 451 pulling from, like, oh, there's these banned materials, and you can't have this anymore. And
like, that's how that kind of stuff is in the book, and I think his dad does get taken, but I don't think they, like, it's like he tells another character, like, my dad was taken or whatever, but it's, you're not, like, you're not with that stuff in the book, like they flashback in the movie, and it's not the Major. The Major being there is, and I remember sitting in the theater being like, okay. I remember, like, there are a lot of changes in the movie that I did not care about. There are a lot of changes with, like, some of the rules are different. The amount of kids is cut in half. It's 100 kids in the book. Some of the characters aren't there. Some of the characters are, like, merged. Some of the deaths are I didn't care about any of that stuff because it's all, like, weird little shit that doesn't matter. But
and anytime there's an adaptation, there's always going to be
stuff. And like that change, I was like, I guess I get it. They want to make it more personal because, like, in the book, he's not there for revenge. In the book, he's just doing the long walk. He's there for the same reason everybody else is. I was like, okay, little weird, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this time period where when people go to movies, I'm trying to think of the example. Maybe it was Weapons, where some of the complaints people were saying, well, the movie made no sense, or I didn't get it, or there was no point to that. And I feel like writers and storytellers go out of their way sometimes to be really prescriptive to the audience. And look, if you're watching Jumanji or the Hunger Games or whatever, I get that. But I think like part of the fun of going to see a movie, especially if something's going to be bleak and there's like social commentary, is like you want to come out of it and go, okay, let me process how I feel about what I saw. What was the filmmaker trying to say? What was the writer trying to say with the story? And do I agree with their perspective? Do I think their perspective is fucking bullshit? Like, to me, that's the fun. When as the story unfolds and it becomes like this revenge thing, it feels like, I hate using this term, I use it all the time, but it just feels a little on the nose for me.
TV movie.
Yeah. So this brings me to my next point, and I want to be really careful about this, okay? I fucking love Star Wars, and I love Mark Hamill. I think he's a great person. I think he's a good actor. I think there's times where Mark Hamill is an unbelievably emotionally driven, like, his performance as Luke Skywalker. These are some of the most important pop culture film performances of our lifetime. He's an incredible voice actor, Joker, etc. But my question to you, and Jacob, I'll start with you. Is Mark Hamill good in The Long Walk?
He's
Be careful here,
fine.
son.
He's fine. But so, like, first of all, that character doesn't have a lot of screen time. Doesn't have a lot of time in the book either. It's like there's not a ton of it. But I think he's supposed to come across as like terrifying. And the first time he shows up in the movie, all of the kids are like literally one of the kids goes, "It's the Major." He like says it like that. They're all terrified of him. Here's what I think happened. It's Mark Hamill, right? You want Mark Hamill in he's a fucking, he's a legend. He's amazing. Like, you want to be in Mark Hamill's presence. And if Mark Hamill agrees to play a villainous role for the first time ever, I don't know, in your film, your Stephen King adaptation, like, you're excited by that, you want that, you're probably not going to be like, "Hey, Mark, you're teetering on like a weird
Sure.
It feels like you might just start doing your Joker voice." You know what I mean?
Right.
It came across a little like high school playish at times. And I don't think that's quite what they were going for, but they were like, it's Mark Hamill. He's great. So they were probably blinded a little bit by,
Sure.
I don't think he's as intimidating as they think he is, or as they want him to be, because he's supposed to be like pretty fucking terrifying. Yeah. And he comes across as fun to me.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah, I mean, I was laughing, and I think it's a delicate thing to handle. I imagine on set, to be like, you just want to keep Mark Hamill having fun, so that it's so that we get the performance, and it's not riddled with anything, and you don't get like a Rian Johnson later on. You find out Mark Hamill hated it, and disagreed with it on every level. So. Yeah, I think there was probably a little bit of that. And it's like, we're all so lucky just to have this.
Yeah.
But God, yeah. I mean, and then also, you know what? I wonder if our perspective has been like sort of shaded because of our past with Mark Hamill and watching so much of Batman the Animated Series and Star Wars. I wonder how. Yeah, I know. I will say, I'm going to reference the lady that sat next to me during the movie, who literally loved every second, like she was at the end of it.
I bet you she didn't like this movie.
Wait, what?
I want to know. Oh, the lady. I was thinking about the lady from the panel. Remember the lady at the panel?
No. She's probably one of us, which is
I want to know.
I want it to to be more messed up.
I want to find her. I want to know what she thinks.
I want to find her too. I was like, I don't know how. I didn't connect. Like, I wanted to be like, hey, if I gave you a tissue and we cried together, I should know your name, which is just like The Long Walk. Literally,
you did it.
If we're gonna be in this, yeah.
You know the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah,
that guy's fucking terrifying.
He's terrifying. Hey, this movie kind of feels like Full Metal Jacket at times. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like the first half of Full Metal Jacket, where all those characters are like kind of having fun, but not really, because they're
right.
Kind of feels like that.
Sure.
Yeah, friendships
Um,
formed
Yeah.
during desperation. Yes, but well, the one point I was making is that the lady next to me, who may not know the scope of Mark Hamill's like character acting and like voice acting, seemed to be very much scared
She's
of
into
him.
Okay.
Yeah. End of the movie, she looked at me. She was like, "I didn't expect it to be that good," and I was like, "Yeah,
Okay.
this is the book."
Cool.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think it plays for the audience. That
I don't
Sure.
think the
doesn't.
average moviegoer would even put two and two together that is Luke Skywalker. So maybe
Yeah.
it's just
I mean, he's
maybe
pretty
it's
like
just us not having heavy sex. I don't know. Like,
Batman. Like he's gonna do.
well, I heard an interview when he's like, well, I first got the script and I said, I can't do this. This is the bleakest material I've ever read.
What if I could be the
He's just
Joker?
always the Joker.
Yeah, he's just always like that. Like I said, really like the performances. I like the story. The scope felt small to me. The scenes, I get it. It's supposed to be like long and arduous and a lot, they're just walking and there's not a lot of flashback. I thought the movie was gonna be all flashbacks. We're gonna get a backstory for every character. They didn't do that. So to kind of pull this movie off in any kind of capacity is definitely like a feat of filmmaking to make it interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm torn because there's aspects of it I'm like, wow, this is really great. There's scenes where I was like, that was fantastic.
Sure.
But then there was like there was stuff where I was like, because it almost has like this, we have all watched like Squid Game, right? Like there's this like who's gonna win this thing, and I'm going into it with no
Battle Royale.
preconceived notion because
Right.
I didn't read it, and maybe we could start unpacking the ending. Jacob, do you want to first talk about like how the book ends and why that's an impactful end to that story, and then we can get into the changes?
Sure. Yeah. I can imagine. Let me say this first. Like, I imagine that if I had never read this book,
Mm-hmm.
I would maybe love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to say that this ending is like awful. That's not my issue. My issue with this ending is that it's not the fucking ending in the book. And I feel cheated, and I don't know, man. It like this is it's weird to me that writers do this, and it's not the first time it's happened. Like Pet Sematary kind of did the same thing. The remake of Pet Sematary is pretty good and pretty faithful until it's not, and I'm like, why? Why'd you do that? It's like a thing. It's like the writers think when they're adapting a book, they have to change the ending.
Right.
And it's not even that the ending we got, I mean, it's still a fucking bleak ending. It's still rough, but it is not the ending in the book. I like the book ending better. If I'm seeing an adaptation of a book I like, I want it to be like the movie. I want it to end like the fucking book. I don't like this. Like, we're never going to get another adaptation of this. I doubt it. Right. So this is one we got. You know what? This also made me, I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, oh, you know what? There's zero chance we're getting the Running Man ending in that movie. There's zero chance that movie is ending like the book. And I was like thinking about it and I'm like, they kind of hint at the ending in the trailer. I won't say it because I know you guys don't know it.
Right, that's Edgar Wright.
Yeah, but
So
I was like,
different,
Edgar Wright's not making that kind of movie. He's making a fun movie. It's not going to end like the fucking book. So I don't know. It hurt. Like, Craig, I think I told you guys this, but like in this movie, whenever I realized what they were doing, like my heart sank. I was sitting in the theater like, because like I got so hyped up. I was like, the whole thing is like, are they doing it? Are they going to do this? And they don't. They just do their own thing. In the book, the last couple of deaths are a little different. There's a scene, also spoilers for the ending of this movie in book because we're going to do it.
Big spoilers coming up.
So your last three people left are Stebbins, who is the son of the major, DeVries, and Garrity. And earlier, DeVries says like, "Hey, when I get tired, I'm just going to sit down." He says that. Now in the book, that happens before Stebbins dies. DeVries, like Garrity's talking, and it happens quick, and it happens like without, like it's like a shocking moment. Like,
can I ask one clarifying question? Is
Yeah.
the relationship between Garrity and DeVries in the book is that the big impactful relationship, just like
Go
it is
ahead,
in the
Abby.
movie?
Sorry, I hate to do this because I hate being corrected, but it's McFreeze with an MC.
I always say it wrong because I don't
Because it
know
sounds
how.
like DeVry.
Is it
DeVries?
DeVries?
Don't
What? Say
worry
it again.
about it.
Say it again.
Mick, like McDonald's,
It's
McFreeze.
Mick.
Like a Scottish Mick.
It's McFreeze.
McFreeze. MC.
McFreeze. What was
lowercase
I
d,
saying?
And then B.
DeVries.
DeVries.
And that's
okay.
okay,
It's
'cause
Mick.
It doesn't.
You
Well,
think, don't
What's
worry
his
about it,
first
but
name? Because I'm going to call him by that.
Peter.
Let's do that.
Peter. It's easy.
Peter.
But-
To
well,
answer your
Jacob.
question quick,
Yeah, no, go for it.
it is the relationship between them. I think is a focal point and a focus in the
Yeah.
book, and definitely in the movie. It is the most important thing that you see on screen. That's like thematically, for me personally, the scenes with Garrity and McFreeze, Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson. Those were the scenes that I had my tissue ball out for, that I was really, really feeling, and those performances are, in my opinion, like Oscar worthy.
Sure.
And yeah, and that was the essence of what I loved from the book. We've talked about that, the conversations, like the reality of stuff, the connection of human beings in the midst of trial. So yeah, I think that their relationship was the thing that was most explored in this movie, and I think that was the thing. It was also the thing that was most toyed with and
Right.
changed from what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like their relationship in the book is basically the same. They're a little different because they both have different motivations. They change Pete a lot. Like his, in the movie, he's like, I got no family. I got the scar. Like none of that is true. He got the scar in a way that they would not put in the movie because it would make him a character you would not be rooting for if they kept
Right.
the origin of a scar. Like
Mhm.
he's a little bit of an asshole in the book, but they do like help each other. They save each other's lives a few times. In the book, Garrity has a girlfriend. And so like, the scene where he like runs to his mom towards the end.
Mhm.
In
Yeah.
the book, that's his girlfriend. And in the book, he's like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to let them kill me. He's like, that's his end. And they, Pete helps him and saves him. And I think he has a panic attack at one point, and Pete helps him through the panic. Like, there's a lot of the similar stuff. But in the book, Pete sits down and he gets taken out, and it's just Garrity and Stebbins left. Stebbins is not sick like he is in the movie. He's good to go. And Garrity thinks he's like, oh, Stebbins is gonna win this. He knows it. And he literally in the book, he like turns to tell Stebbins, like he turns to talk to him. He's like, hey, you're probably gonna win this. And then Stebbins just dies. He just
wow.
and he fucking falls over. But in the book, Garrity has been seeing, they do it in the movie a little bit where he's kind of like falling asleep and he's
Right.
seeing dreams or whatever. In the book, there's moments where he sees like a figure, like a dark figure walking ahead of him. And in the end, the other two die. He's still alive, and they're like, you just won the long walk. And it's like he can't hear anybody. All he sees is that dark figure. And he keeps following, and he keeps walking, and he starts running. And it's like kind of it's kind of left, like he's basically like he's lost his mind, and he's just going to keep going, probably until he dies, So
right.
he loses his mind, and he just keeps going, and he breezes right by. The major tries to like stop him and be like, hey, congratulations, what do you want? And he just like breezes by him and just keeps walking.
Yeah.
And that's how the book ends.
Mm-hmm. That's similar to how someone, a soldier, would be coming back from Vietnam, where it's like, even though it's over, their life is completely changed
Right.
and worsened by it, and the drug addiction or
PTSD,
post PTSD, which
Yeah.
I'm a chronic PTSD right here, so I understand. Like that's the stuff that you're actually left with, and you're void of meaning and feeling, and you're just an automaton moving and marching forward because that's all you've ever known. So
But
yeah, I think
instead, this movie did this movie, like for a movie that's like so bleak and dire and everything, the last 10 minutes feels closer to like Remember the Titans than like I feel like it's supposed to.
That's a great comparison. And
Because-
I went to high school where they filmed Remember the Titans.
There you go. And I also walked on that same road from the Long Walk.
You did it.
Not
You did it.
nearly as far. I would have been.
I did the long walk. No, dude, I did a race with you.
Well,
once.
Jacob, we joked about like if YHS had a video doing the long walk, we would start. Then it would say like 0.5 miles later, we're all just dead. Hey, I had another funny thought before we get to the movie ending. You know the part where they're all. So Jacob, after you told us like your heart dropped, and like I was like, ooh, I bet Jacob he might be turning his phone off tonight. I don't know if he's going to handle this well. But we did talk that night.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about how disappointed you were, you know the part of the movie where they're all chanting "fuck the long walk." I imagine a version of that where Jacob's in there with him.
Yeah.
Fuck the long walk. Actually, that's what our YouTube thumbnail should be for that. Fuck the long walk.
Here's the thumbnail. Everybody do this. All right.
Okay.
Do we want to just say what happens in the movie?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so in the movie, Stebbins dies. He's been sick, and they kind of mixed Stebbins with another character that they took out of the movie, but they kind of gave his like attributes to a couple other characters. So the Stebbins getting sick was kind of like a left over from the book. But then he dies, and that's when I started like, I was like, okay, that's not quite the same, but I didn't think anything of that because I'm like, well, of course you want to. These are the two guys. Like, who cares? Like, you don't want. Of course, they're going to make the change to have those two be the end.
Right, right.
But then anyway, so Garrity sits down, or no, not Garrity. Pete sits down, and Garrity helps him up, picks him up. They both have like all three of their warnings at this point, and he gets Pete walking again, and then when he's not paying attention, he sits down, and the Major shoots him personally. And that's it. And then Pete wins. And, earlier in the book or in the movie, Pete's talking about how he wants to change things and he wants to like make it where there's going to be two winners of the long walk from now on.
Right.
And use the money to help kids and stuff. None of this is in the book, by the way. And,
I remember that.
And Garrity's whole thing was like, I'm going to ask for a gun and I'm going to shoot the Major. Also not in the book. And and then Pete does that. He asks for the gun. He says, "I want that gun." And then he shoots the Major.
Yeah.
And then
right after Mark Hamill goes, "There's no way he's gonna shoot me."
Yeah. Then he shoots him.
The Major fall from behind forward. It's kind of a lame ass shot. You're like, I am not even seeing Mark Hamill's face react to death.
And then
the weirdest
and then
part
he walks,
is
but then he walks away. And it's a little. It's also a dark ending. It's also. It's a tribute to the book. It ends with him walking still, but it is very different. He's not walking because, also, I think he might be dead there.
Yeah.
Well, because whenever that scene happens, the crowds are gone.
Right.
That's what I keep wondering. Why are the crowds gone? Because it doesn't.
Because he dies. He gets shot immediately, probably. I'm guessing. I mean, You're purposely.
Somebody. Oh.
Well, he shot the Major. Do you think they're just going to be like, it's okay. He shot the Major.
It's not like the Major.
He's surrounded by people with guns.
Okay. So I'm
guessing
they
they
probably
killed him.
shot him, or the Major just disappeared.
He just that's what happens.
The Major fades away.
Forgot to CGI him in.
They did that on, that's the point, that is to have it kind of open-ended. The book is a little open-ended. You don't exactly know what's happening. But I think I don't know, man. I just bummed me out so much to change that. Like, why do you think you're going to do it better than Stephen King?
Yes.
Like, I don't know if it's like, I'm sure it's hard to be a creative person, a writer, and to have a job to write a screenplay of a book and to really not be able to like put your own input in it. But like, it is some sort of thing where it's like, hey, let's change the ending just for those people who do know the book. Let's fucking annoy the shit out of them and make it
vast majority
pretty accurate. all the way to
Yeah.
the end and then change
Yeah.
it. And it's like, why is this a trend? Why? Like, it feels like they watched The Mist, which
Mhm.
also sort of changes the ending a little bit, but it feels like they watched The Mist and they're like, oh, we got to do that. We got to make it different and make it worse. But it's not worse. It's just, I don't know, man. It just bummed me out so bad to get all the way to the end, to like so much of the movie, then to be like, all right, well, they didn't fucking do it. They didn't do it. Of course they didn't. They fucking
It's
copped
weird,
out.
too, because
they didn't do it.
the vast majority of the audience seeing this has not read this book and doesn't
Hey,
know the story.
I think I'm in a couple Stephen King groups on Facebook, and I
Yeah.
think all these people are lying about reading the book because it seems like nobody's mentioning that they've completely changed the ending. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is it because you didn't actually read the book and you're just seeing everybody
Right.
else? Like, it's
Mhm.
still dark. I don't know. I feel so conflicted about it.
Well, when it ended, the first thing Abby said, she leaned over, she goes, hey, they changed the ending. And I went, well,
I have a
Jacob,
few notes.
I go, Jacob's not going to like that. And she goes, do you think he's going to be mad about that? I was like, yeah, I really
pretty mad.
do.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're justified, absolutely, in
So-
doing so. I wonder.
I
Some of that-
recommend people see it, though. Abby, go for it.
Just gonna say that perhaps that you can attribute the desire to like change a famous Stephen King book's ending, kind of feels like an egotistical or a narcissistic move on the director's part. And I'm not saying that the director is either of those things, but to be like, I'm gonna do my own little version of it. I guess
Yeah.
that might be your reasoning, but it doesn't work, and you should stick with what Stephen King's written.
I don't
I
know.
found
I
the
feel
ending
like
to be
it doesn't work more than it does work. You know, it's like there are so many Stephen King adaptations, and I know a lot of them are not great. Like, there's some stinkers out there, but I'm seeing so many people be like, this is one of those good ones. You know, this is like Shawshank. And I'm like, all right, well, Shawshank's exactly like the story. You know, like, I don't know, man. I think like there are times when changing something is okay. And I don't know like what the rules are. Like, I mean, I literally just said they kind of changed the end in The Mist, but I think The Mist is one of the best Stephen King adaptations of all time. It's like the fact that they did so much press talking about how this movie is the book and how if you're a fan of the book, you shouldn't be worried about changes being made or anything getting dumbed down. But then they do. And it's like, is it a rule? Is it a studio rule or something that you can't just adapt the fucking book?
I mean, famously, you're mentioning The Mist. Fight Club, I know the book had quite a different ending.
I mean, it's like around
the Rambo in the book, First Blood, the Rambo book.
Yeah.
I
The
think
Shining has a different ending in the movie from the book. Yeah.
This happens. I'm not saying they shouldn't change it because like a film is a different medium and it's a screenwriter doing their own thing. I get it, but the question is what is the overall message or implication happening in the book, and why are you changing it? So basically, to me, it seems like they wrote this movie and were like, these two characters. This whole movie is about this bond between these two characters. I buy that, but then they do like the old like okey doke thing where it's like, oh, you feel like, oh, he's gonna lay down, but then they do the switch, and like, if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, and then he gets his revenge, he fulfills the wish that what's the character's name? Gibraltar. That's not his name. What's his name? Garrity.
Garrity
Gibraltar?
and McVrees.
Where did I get fucking Gibraltar from? He fulfills his wish, and that feels like maybe they were like, okay, this movie's so dark and bleak that we need to send people home with some sort of, good feeling, which I don't think is.
I was about to say, do you think that movie had a good feeling of an ending? Because I don't.
No, not necessarily. But I'm just trying to get behind the mind of why something would have been changed.
I don't know, dude. I feel like we've talked about it a million times. We've all like when they change endings, like it's not. This is nothing new, but it's just like it's always my biggest fear. Like when I see a movie, because it doesn't matter to me how great the rest of the movie is. If you completely change the ending, it's like I just lose all connection to that. Like I've heard the argument of like, oh, it's a different medium. Like we're doing an adaptation. That doesn't mean it's got to be identical. Okay. But it's weird to me to make so much of it feel so much like the book and be the book. And then it like feels like they do it on purpose. Like, I mean, Pet Sematary is such a, the remake of Pet Sematary. It's like, I remember being in the theater being like, oh my God, they're making this fucking movie. They're doing it and they're making it like the book, and it's dark and it's scary. And then they like switch the kids dying. And I'm like, wait.
Oh, right.
Why?
It's not Gage. Right.
But then they even after they do that, they're still being accurate to everything. And then the end's different. It's like they completely change the ending. And I'm like, I just don't know why are we doing this? Like, why do we think this is better than what Stephen King wrote? Why?
Yeah. It's almost as if the person who wrote it had like a process of this is the beginning and this is what the end will be. And this long journey that we take is going to get us there. And the pacing of the movie does move like you go through such a long period of time, and it's such small changes that you notice in the individuals, like as they're walking, that to have something like a twisty ending where something's going to happen, a little switch here. It's going to be different than you remember. It's going to be a little bit confusing. Oh, it's going to be extra bleak. But if that's open-ended, which Jacob, I did not know that idea was like an option for the end of the movie, that McBreeze is just already a dead person looking out, and that's why there's no people there. That gives me a feeling of emptiness that's confusing, and it doesn't have any meaning.
It took me. I didn't get that.
Do it for good.
I didn't get that either, Abby, when I saw it. But I've seen other people saying that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it is like it can be interpreted. I think they did that on purpose, but
so I'm reading there's an interview with the director, and I was seeing if he's talked about
what does he got. What does he have to say for himself?
Well, I don't know if you're gonna.
I was listening
there at Comic-Con.
I was listening to the Losers Club. I love them. And they have a lot to say about Stephen King all the time, and their episodes are like 3 hours long. And I think they have, I'm usually like in tune with their opinions, and they put out their episode for The Long Walk, and it is like a 3-hour episode. I have not been able to listen to the whole thing, but they all didn't mind the change. Like none of them cared that it was changed. They all still like it. And I'm like, talking to them as if I'm a part of their show, being like,
that's what people do to us.
It's like, why am I not on the show? Telling them like, I just don't get it.
Before I go into this, let me say this. I have some issues with this movie. To me, it's like a B-, C+. Nothing to do with the ending, because I had no preconceived notion of it. So that doesn't affect me at all. Abby, what grade did you say?
B+.
So you like?
I felt that in my gut.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't take any umbrage. I did notice and feel confused, but not like upset by it.
All right, so this is what the director had to say. Stephen Lawrence says, I knew that people were really going to love McVrees. What I also loved about it was just narratively, the idea that we open on a kid in a car, the audience is going to be programmed to believe clearly, here's our winner. So he's talking about Garrity. I love turning that on its head and going, guess what? He's not the winner.
Fuck him. Go make another Hunger Games and get out of my fucking Stephen King. That makes me so annoyed. That is like an utter, like,
oh my God.
I'm getting so mad.
Okay, don't kill the master. Don't go all Colonel,
Craig?
General, Admiral. What's his name?
And Petty.
The Major.
Major. I named every other fucking thing. I think you got to have a heavy sack to change the ending like that.
My other nitpicks, like they wouldn't be like if the ending was the ending from the book and they tackled it and they didn't change anything, I wouldn't care about the deaths looking a little silly or the Major being a little silly. I just would be like, they fucking did it and they stuck true to like, this is a true Stephen King adaptation. But they didn't. So like the things that are nitpicks become bigger complaints. You know, they become like, oh well, they didn't do this and they did this and this.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I get it.
I want to go see it. I think I'm going to see it again. I think I'm going to see it again in the theater. I was like talking to Jess about it, and she was like, "What'd you think of the movie?" And I was like, "Do you want spoilers?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Then I can't tell you what I thought of the movie."
Gotcha.
And I was like,
"She doesn't listen to this episode."
She won't. Yeah, I told her not to. I was like, "Hey, we'll watch it when it comes out," because like I will watch it again, and I want to. Like, this is a movie that I feel like I have to, like, I need to go see it again. I need to kind of sit through it because so much of it is good. And there's some interviews with Cooper Hoffman talking about, like, how, I think, like, he talks about his dad a little bit and about how doing this movie kind of made him deal with some of that. And Philip Seymour Hoffman's death a little bit, and like having to do a movie where his father dies, and they also talk about how like they filmed the movie in sequence, so like as the actors are actually getting to know each other, the characters are too, and I feel like all of that is pretty, like you can see that it feels fairly genuine most of the time. I don't know. It's just the ending fucking swept me out of this movie, like to the point of where I'm like, I don't. Go ahead.
To the point where I was like,
I'm just rambling. You guys are just letting me feel like I'm going to listen to this later and be like, oh, I'm a fucking asshole.
No,
he goes,
no.
Hold on. To the point where Jacob came out of it going, I don't even want to be around anymore. Hey, listen, here's a theory. So you're talking about the Losers Club all liking it and not minding the change. Yeah. Famously, there's been like 50 Stephen King adaptations. There was a ton of like made for TV stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
A lot of them not good. Like famously bad adaptation. Even recently. Like what was the remake? Was it Firestarter?
Salem's Lot and Firestarter, both awful.
Do you think maybe, and Abby, you can start, maybe it's in the blood of these adaptations a little bit that some of these, some of the Stephen King stuff over the years has been, Dark Tower, for instance, so mediocre or to bad that when something of quality comes out, you can just go, we're not even going to nitpick. It's good enough. Do you think that's part of it a little?
Yes. The standard is pretty low with the amount, I think, of made for TV movies that are not super great, or Stephen King's own productions that he's done, like not being so great and so hot. There's tons of weird, like out there. Sleepwalkers is a fucking weird movie, which I like, but like Lawnmower Man or whatever.
Phone.
Yeah. So I think that level of like, we just need to be grateful that we got this. I can understand that in a way. I can also see where Jacob would have an opinion that maybe says that's not good enough. We should just try harder.
It's not hard. I mean, it's like, what do you mean try harder? Like all the ingredients were there. It's right in front of you. You have great actors. The screenplay is really great, I think, up until the end. It's like, it's not hard. You self-sabotaged and fucking changed the ending because you don't want people to know that Garrity is going to win, because you want to, like, you have it's like something that filmmakers have where they think the audiences want to be tricked in the end. Like if somebody can kind of see like, okay, well, this is our main character, they're probably going to win. That's you're telling me that's why he changed the ending, is just because of that? Get the fuck out of here. Like, what is it?
Remember the pilot of Lost was originally going to be Jack was going to be Michael Keaton, but he was just going to die halfway through just because of it would be shocking and people like, that's not
being bombastic.
That feels like such a weird studio note type thing. It feels like a mindset that people that don't actually enjoy movies or actually love making movies has. It's like, it's got to trick them. You got to get the audience, and it's like, I don't know. Why? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I don't think. Well, I would say, as someone who has read a lot of Stephen King, Jacob, that Stephen King's MO has never been to do a little trick on the audience and fool them. I don't think that's the element of surprise in that way has never felt like his style.
It feels like a jump scare type. It's like a cheap fucking trick. I don't know.
Yeah. Especially when you think of how Stephen King would write and where he's writing from at his desk with his fan on and his radio on and how he's working slowly. Although I'm not sure if he was there when he wrote this because he was so young. But to think about how he layers it slowly and then why would you at any point just change that? It doesn't make sense.
It's also like, Garrity's the one who wins, but like he also loses his fucking mind, and you don't finish the book thinking like Annie lived happily ever after. You know what I mean? It's not a happy ending. So it's why does it matter that you
post-credit scene, Garrity's on the great movie ride with me. We got our wish. They brought it back.
That's what he used his prize money for, was to like preserve it.
All right, that's what you get. One wish.
That's my one wish. You have to restore Universal Studios back to its former glory and get rid of all of them.
All right,
Fast and the Furious.
Get your heavy sacks working down there in Orlando.
You do the long walk to Universal.
So I gave it a C+. Abby gave it a B+. Jacob, do you have a letter grade for this?
I'm not. No, I don't. Okay, I don't. I don't think I could do that. Because, like I said, a lot of the movie is really good.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I'm getting annoyed at the aspect of like having to see it again just to figure out how I feel. Like, it's like I got to try to take myself out of. Like, I know that is a little. I've seen plenty of movies where they change things from the book, and I'm like, oh, I mean, Jaws and Jurassic Park are my two favorite movies of all time. They're neither one are like the book, but I saw those before I read the book. You know what I mean? It's like you don't care. It's like whatever one you see or read first is what you want.
That's your impression of it, right?
It's like that's your impression, and that's how you want it. So it doesn't bother me one way, but it's like it bothers you another way. It's more, I think it more has to do with like The Long Walk it's not one of Stephen King's most popular books. It is not one I guarantee you most of the general public would not have known this was Stephen King if it didn't say it. Like it's not supernatural. There's no clowns in it. A clown made it, but there's no clowns in it. And I'm sorry. That's mean.
All I know is watch it. Stephen Lawrence is going to end up directing the next Ghostbusters movie. We're going to have to fucking delete this episode.
Anyway, like The Long Walk it's been a lesser known. Whenever you hear about film adaptations, a lot of times it's like the same. You know, we've gotten 2 Firestarters, we got 3 Carries. There's a new Carrie coming. There's multiple. There's The Shining. There's a sequel. It's like you hear about the same stuff. There's fucking 3 It movies, It TV show coming. So like, whenever in 2025, when you see like, you know, The Life of Chuck, The Girl That Loved Tom Gordon, which is also written and being directed by the guy who wrote this movie. You know, we're going to get a new version of The Running Man. It's like, it feels like, oh, you know what? We're tackling some lesser known Stephen King stuff. And like, that's a good thing. And then you're like, okay, so, I mean, I feel like I'm all over the place, but you know, there's a Stephen King story called The Jaunt, which I made you guys listen to on a road trip. And that has a similar vibe as The Long Walk. It's like fucked up. And it has also been in and out of like, you know, production, or I don't know if it's ever actually been in production, but the rights have been bought and sold. And at one point they were going to try to make a show out of it. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, it's going to end up just like The Long Walk. It's going to finally get made. And they're not going to go through with the crazy ending of The Jaunt, you know? And it's going to be like, well, how many other people are out here being like, okay, well, I want to adapt The Long Walk or The Jaunt or some of the weirder Stevie, like The Long Walk. It just happened. We got The Long Walk, and it's not the book. So that's what we have forever is that version of the fuck. Like maybe they'll make it again, but we might be dead by then. I don't know. So it's just like, it's a bummer to not have an accurate adaptation of the book. And I probably never will. It's just like, that's what I have, you know?
That's what. Well, maybe we need to.
Do I sound like a crazy person on this episode?
No,
No, you sound like a Stephen King fan.
passionate. Maybe we'll do The Long Walk as a limited series.
I don't want to, though. Like, they ruined it. It's done. The Long Walk is over. I'm selling this book. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
There's always a chance. Like, there are other, you know, there was the 80s or the early 90s, 1991 version of It with the TV version.
Yeah, let's talk about It. They haven't gotten that right either. You know,
we're never happy because it's never
Let's
the
do
book.
a
Never gonna happen.
2000s Long Walk comedy version with like Jonah Hill and Jason Segel and Seth Rogen. I'm sorry.
Paul Rudd is the major.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like Jonah Hill to like give somebody X-Lax and it's like a prank.
Oh, we
It's
haven't
fun.
even talked about the guy shitting all over
We
the
haven't talked
road.
to shit.
No, we haven't.
Loved
that
it.
the
We
book?
have not talked about
Yeah,
that.
it's in the book.
Well, they
Yeah,
did.
that's definitely
Most of those like deaths are in the book like that. They're maybe a few are a little different, but
Right.
most of the like those ways that people die in the movie, it's pretty much all from the book.
Well, it's made $11,500,000 at the box office, so it's made half its budget back. It'll probably be profitable, and at the end of
Sure.
the day, good
That's good.
performances.
That's a good thing.
Mhm.
That's a good thing. People are going to see it, and I won't be surprised if there are some Golden Globes or Oscar nominations potentially for.
I mean, I
some of
hope
the
I hope
individual
so.
performances.
I don't want this movie to like do bad or like just because I have a lot of issues with it. I do think all the performances are really, it's great. It's like it's such a good cast. Everybody's great. I do hope I hope it does well.
I wonder what
Yeah.
Cooper Hoffman has coming up next, because he seems like he's got like Jacob said, a little career going.
He's got a career
Yeah, he's got
happening.
a lot of career going.
He's got a little nepo career. It's doing pretty
Saturday
good.
Yeah.
He's coming up in a movie called I Want Your Sex with Olivia Wilde.
Oh, I think they changed the ending in that one too.
Are you serious?
I
Yeah,
have
the
no
last
idea.
line he goes, "You know what? I don't want
I
your
know.
sex."
And then you wonder if he's dead or not.
So this movie with Cooper Hoffman and Olivia Wilde, he plays somebody named Elliot who lands a job for renowned and provocative artist Erica Tracy, played by Olivia Wilde. His fantasies come true as Erica hires him to become her sexual muse. Seeing it day one, I'm in. Love it.
Okay, dude. Yeah. I mean, all right. I
Okay.
had not heard tell of that, but that sounds like
Neither.
a well-casted movie. Olivia Wilde sounds good for that, and so does he.
Charlie XCS is also in it, whatever it is.
Okay, I'm really in. I am so in.
Yeah, there you go. Well, guys, this was fun. Thought this was a good discussion. I'm interested to see how our audience reacts. I hope they've seen it and then they can have an informed opinion. Now, Jacob, no, nobody thinks you're crazy. You just are passionate, and that's good.
Okay. Sometimes when it's movies like this and I have that big of a reaction to it, it makes me think like I am not a normal person. Maybe I should shut up because everybody else likes it. So like maybe I'm being annoying.
Listen, there's room for all sorts of different perspectives. And that's what makes it fun to podcast. Abby, any final words from you?
Polite people rarely make history, Jacob. So keeping that in mind, I
Is
love
that on
your
a poster
honesty.
at school?
No, it's like I just kind of bastardized the quote. I think it's like quiet women. It's a specific quote about women. Like
Okay.
they rarely make history. Okay, so I was kind of taking that, making it my own, and not telling
You
anyone.
stole it.
I stole it, and I admitted it, and I'm sorry, Jacob. I think that it's really important that you voiced your opinion, and it's the reason that you're our North Star and why I like to talk to you after movies, and you're who I go to. So
Yeah.
don't
Thank you.
ever feel bad about it. It's what makes you a podcaster, and I relate to it. I hated Jurassic World when it came out. We all knew that.
Yeah.
Pained me, and we started a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And now
I
they're
hate-
making another one. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Another
Star-
Jurassic.
They're making a sequel to Rebirth. Hey, I liked
Oh.
Rebirth, so I don't
Me
know.
too.
I don't think I care. If they want to make another one, go ahead.
Very entertaining.
If you'd like more from Yes Have Some Podcast, you can always sign up for our Patreon. It's a great direct way to support us. Patreon.com/yeshavesome. For as little as $5 a month, you get a complete archive of all of our bonus content for the last 6 or 7 years, access to the YHS Discord, access to the YHS Patreon Instagram where Abby's unboxing things. What was that?
I did. That was it was a Monster High doll that you like surprised me with.
Oh, cool.
And I loved opening it. Like I'd never done that before. And as I am so into those dolls, I love the aesthetic, but I love like a mystery package. I love not knowing at all what was going to be in that. I was like, oh, it's a whole doll. Oh, it's a cool doll. And it's got shoes.
Love a good
It's got a
mystery.
bag. Yeah.
And then if you want some,
Go.
More? You have more to say?
I wanted to, for my own self, I wanted to actually give the quote. It's well-behaved women seldom make history by historian Laurel Thatcher Ulrich.
And,
Okay, cool.
And you thought of Jacob when you heard that.
Hey, I'm an ally.
You're the woman in
Unless you change the ending. Well, Abby changed the ending of the quote and the beginning.
That's true.
the beginning.
Also, if you want a Yes Have Some podcast or Toy Anxiety t-shirt or other piece of merchandise, you can go to shopyhs.com. We got some new shirts. We got a sad comment shirt. We got the Mondole hats. We got the YHS logo shirts.
And Jacob Goes to Hell's coming soon.
We have to work on that.
I have an idea for it. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Other than that, thank you for being here. Whether you listen on Spotify or your Apple Podcasts or your podcast app or YouTube, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of The Long Walk.
Yeah.
And we'll be back. I think
Read the book.
Read the book.
Read the book, please.
Next week, let's officially announce on our next podcast our lineup for Halloween, our October episode.
So next week we're going to announce our October lineup. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we good.
Cool.
I sent the list to Attack Peter and I said, hey, if you want to join us for any of these, let us know. I said,
He's
we're
never seen any of those movies.
He likes all of them.
We'll see.
Well, at least one of them. But I said we're pre-recording all of them, and he's like, "Well, I can't do any of these dates because I'm like, no, listen,
we're pre-recording
all of these conversations.
This is a conversation for off air, by the way.
This is not an on-air one, is it?
No.
That's like, hey, little something extra for the people who stayed the whole time.
Hey, just take this conversation and put it on Patreon.
Yeah, there.
Right. I'm gonna get submissions from people. Be like, I can be on your episode.
My favorite thing that happens. Guys, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Go see a movie. Support your local theater. Go see something.
Yeah.
For Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg, and for Richard Bachman, it's been a while.
Warning.
Warning. Third warning.
Second
warning. Third warning. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Canteen switch.
At least they get water. That's nice.
I know. I wonder what's in those rations.
It's not good.
I think it's just like a paste.
Yeah, I think it's like a meat paste or like